talking with Ulysses, we talked about getting you guys set up on a geographic farm. So when you hear geographic farm, what do you guys think of? What does that sound like to you?
Specific place, right?
A specific place, correct, yeah. And you want to stay, within an area that you kind of are familiar with, right? So if you live in Lake Elsinore and you're working in Lake Elsinore, I'm not saying you can't farm a different area, but if you're newer, you might want to stick closer to home because you can be a little bit more consistent with it. So I put this really cool handout together because I've been teaching farming classes over the years, and I felt like, you know what, I'm going to narrow this down, get it to where it's just the meat and potatoes for the very, very basic on a geographic farm, okay? So let's go through this together, because basically we're going to put the plan together to dominate a neighborhood. And we're going to choose a neighborhood with healthy turnover rates. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about setting a schedule and a budget, being consistent with all your branding and the materials that you're going to be using, and how you want to stay visible, right? Whether it's door knocking, hosting events, mailers, and things like that. And then we're going to want to track the results, right? That all the hard work that you put in and go through with that. So you want to get these people in a geographic farm to make sure that they get to know you, like you, and trust you. Okay, so doing something once and never doing it again, it's not going to be the most efficient way to gain the people's trust in the neighborhood that you're looking to dominate it, okay? Everybody knows that we have lots of realtors in the area. There's always probably going to be some realtor that may live, I say realtor and it's horrible, it's realtor.
Don't worry, I'll let it.
Okay, thanks. I have the hardest time with that.
I'm like, maybe it's another license that I haven't received.
No, it is realtor. So, and I don't know why, I should be calling you guys agents, it's just a little bit easier for me. But anyway, there's ways to kind of see who's doing what in different neighborhoods, and we can talk about that too. Okay, but I want to discourage you from farming anywhere that you don't want to be. So you want to be the chosen go-to agent. So I put selecting where the right neighborhood, where you live. And you might say, you know what, I really don't want to be where I live. And that's okay. If you don't want to farm where you live, we can pick a different area that's maybe closer. We can look at all the schematics and where it's at and how many homes are in it and all that good stuff. But I think you would be more efficient closer to home just because you could get there quicker.
Now, Lisa, why do you think an agent wouldn't want to pick their own immediate area where they live? Like, what would be the pros and cons?
So I have some of my agents that live in like apartments, or may live in a mobile home or what have you, and they want a higher price point maybe, but they also want to be in an area that has turnover rate that's a little bit higher. So those are some of the reasons. I'm trying to think. I mean, and quite honestly, not too often do I get someone goes, I don't like where I live. Most of my people like where they live, but they also have a notion, or they had an open house maybe somewhere else that they really liked the neighborhood, and they really liked the community and the people that were coming in, and they felt like they were a little bit more comfortable there. I see we have females in here right now, and I always say, this is your business, and oftentimes we're out on our own, right? If we're door knocking or doing that, I encourage you to pair up if you can. But you have to be diligent about where you're farming and where you're working. We have to kind of make sure we're in an area that's safe too, okay? So I would just make sure it's somewhere that it's close and that you know that you work from up there. And I always encourage starting smaller. 200 to 500 homes is where you want to start, and they call it farming because it's like planting the seeds, right? You're going to grow that farm, and over time, 6 months, 12 months, you're going to see it grow. And if you want to expand on that farm, we can do that, okay? We have different programs that we're going to talk about that will allow you to do that. So I'm going to give you an example. If we're looking at maybe possibly doing Canyon Lake, the whole gated community, we know there's thousands, maybe a couple of thousand homes in there, right? If you wanted to break Canyon Lake up, you could do it in 4 different farms, and we could segment it out. And as time goes on, you could pick up more and more homes. But what's great is the systems that we have in place will let you see what farm is kind of doing a little bit better. So if I've got 4 farms in there for Canyon Lake and divided up 500 each, then I can kind of see which one. Is it an A, it has high turnover, it's moving? Is it a B, is it a C or D? Okay, so we'll talk about that, but start smaller, and then we're gonna expand and grow it from there. And then calculating turnover is the number of homes sold for the year divided by the number of the homes within the community. So if we're targeting 250 homes, and there was 50 homes that sold in the past year, and those 250, that would have really high turnover, okay? So you take the 50 divided by the 250, and that's how you get your turnover rate. And we wanna be in an area that has a higher turnover. Back in the day, we were saying, when I say back in the day, a couple years ago, it was 7, 8%. Now we're encouraging 5, 6, you know, the way the market is right now, it's a definite, it's not high turnovers everywhere. So just getting yourself established, and if it's a farm that's a B, it's okay. Okay, it doesn't have to be an A. We just want to get you in there and make sure that there are people. So it's basing it off of solds. The other thing you can do as an agent is get into the MLS and look to see what's active and pending in the area that you're looking to farm into. And you want to see who's got things, right? Who's got homes for sale in there. And often, I just ran this just so you know, and I can do it for you guys too if you're thinking about that. When we are looking to see if there's an agent that may be dominating a specific area, what I'm noticing, Ulysses, is it's not. It's like maybe somebody's got 1 or 2 more than another agent in the area, but I'm not seeing somebody have 15 and the other ones just have 1. Nobody's really clearly having that crazy domination right now, which is interesting. And then we talked about the trend. So the other thing that we could do, we call it a snapshot report. We can pull back 2, 3, 4, 5 years and kind of give you a trend of what has been happening over the years. And that way that will help you guys determine, hey, was this something that just all of a sudden picked up like in the last 6 months, or has this been going on for the last 3 or 4 years, right? So it makes it nice to see the trends over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the area that you're looking to dominate. And that's something we can pull right from customer service and send that over to you. In fact, the farming programs that we're going to talk about have the capabilities to show you that as well. Okay? And then we talked about analyzing the competition. If one agent look for gaps that we can fill in, right? So oftentimes, I've been getting asked from some of the agents in here, hey, can I get the empty nesters? Can I get who's most likely to sell next? You might hear about hot movers, things like that. We call that like target farm or niche farming. So even though you might have an area that you're interested in, and maybe it's really big, and you really like it, it's a gated community, or again, using Canyon Lake as an example, we can take an area like that and say, you know what, let's niche it down. How many people live in Canyon Lake or non-owner occupied, meaning they're renting in there? How many people are most likely to sell next, or are hot movers that are living there? We have that. So instead of mailing or door knocking 2,000, you can narrow that down to 30, 40, 50 people, and that's more doable and cost effective if you're doing any type of mailing campaigns. And then we talk about marketing channels. So I'll oftentimes get, well, what should I be doing? And obviously I think, and I don't know how you feel about it, I feel like you should be doing everything. Okay, that's just my personal opinion, because that's what your competition is doing, right? They're doing the door knocking, they're making their phone calls, they're doing the mailers, they're doing the market updates, they're doing their social media. So if you don't want to do it all, I understand, but pick 1, 2, 3 things and do it really good, right? Find what's comfortable for you. Oftentimes I get from my agents, I'm not comfortable making phone calls. Well then, you better door knock, or you better find mailing, or something. There's got to be another avenue. You know, social media is great because it's free, right? It's just the time and effort that you put in it to get the word out. But that's just a given. Your competition's doing social media as well, so that's just something you need to stay on top of. But it is a free way to get your stuff out there without having to place ads. I'm talking about the free, just who you are as a realtor and all that good stuff. And then I always like putting on here hyper-local insights, school updates, community news. I can't stress enough how often that you should be the go-to person within your community and knowing what's going on. Is there a fundraising event coming up? You know, those are the things that maybe you want to let know. Hey, there's a new park. I know that in the Dos Lagos area in Corona, they're always doing some type of musical event or band. I don't know if you guys see on the billboards, sometimes you drive on the 15, some really good agents that include what's happening in Dos Lagos into their marketing. So find those things that are fun too. It doesn't always have to be about home prices and market updates. It could be about community and what's going on, so that people go to you because that you want them to trust you and vice versa. Okay, and then we're gonna prepare your approach, right? I said set SMART goals. So do you guys go over like the goals and stuff with them as far as, I figured you did. No, I don't. So for example, I will generate 10 qualified leads from my farm by sending 2 rounds of mailers and hosting 1 neighborhood event in the next 3 months. I really feel like if it's written out, if you have a plan, that you know exactly what you're gonna do. And I know you guys are getting ready to set, I think it's your goal setting for 2026. Business planning clinic is coming up. This is what's happening right now in our industry. All of the top offices, like your office, and you belong to one of the best offices, it's like a constant training, and they're always offering the greatest tools and products and things to you guys. Take advantage of that business planning, incorporate your marketing within that and what you're gonna be doing. When it's written down and it's visual and you see it and it's a plan, then you know your first quarter of 2026, this is what I'm gonna be doing, right? And it may be, picking a geographic farm along with your sphere of influence is, your other farm. All those things that add up, but if you have it written out, it's gonna come to fruition, right? If you just kinda, I'm gonna go mail, or I'm gonna do this, it's like spraying and praying, hoping that it's gonna stick, and that's not what's gonna happen. You wanna visually see it on paper. I put in here a realistic budget, direct mail at 50 cents. I know it's a little bit more, it can be, depending on what you do and how you do it. If you use every door direct, there's different sources for mailing. I'm always going to encourage you guys to do things that you can do for free, right? Until you get started, until you start to build your business. So free things would be more like the door knocking and making the phone calls in your social media. But if you get to the point where you do want to do mailers, set a realistic budget. That's why I'm not telling you guys to go after 1,000 homes to start with and mail to them all. That could get spendy, okay? So just set a realistic budget when it comes to that time. And maybe you never do a mailer. Maybe for you it's always going to be walking and handing out your flyers or your marketing materials or your market updates, and that's okay too. But you just need to be out there and doing it. And then creating the marketing materials, I put on here, establish a cohesive brand, because sometimes I see my agents will create something and it'll be one color one week, and then a month later it's a different color. It's like they're all over the place, And I highly recommend this too as a new agent. Make sure that everything is on your phone, meaning your DRE number, who you are, like every text that you send to a client or do, make sure they know where it's coming from and who you are. Sometimes I get emails from you guys and it just says from my Outlook. And I'm like, wow, there's no agent info. I'm not saying these guys, but in general, it'll just say from my Outlook. And I'm like, wow, they don't even have their information on their tagline or their signature line of their own email. So just make sure if you choose a specific color, whether it's Keller Williams red, or if you have a different color scheme that you're going, be cohesive with that and all the marketing that you carry through, whether it's your branding for your flyers and your postcards, or even on your social media. Just kind of keep that cohesive flow. And then we already talked about door hangers and price trends, but you want all the pieces that you hand out be an easy read for that client, right? So if the consumer is getting something from you, I always recommend having some type of call to action on there. You want to give them a reason to text you, call you, email you, or reach out to you, okay? So don't just put some homes on here's the market update and that's pretty much it, but there's got to be something else a little bit more to drive them in back to you, to your website. Maybe it's a free home analysis, right? Maybe you're doing a drawing for November for the pumpkin draw. I don't know. Maybe you guys are inviting people here to the Halloween trunk or treat. Those are the things that you could be playing off of within your own office. I have some agents right now that are getting ready to do a trust seminar on the 16th at their office, and they've been pumping it up on social media and inviting people and inviting people in their geographic farm as well. So it's something you could do that way. Do any of you guys have any questions so far on anything I'm going on? Okay. I like the pro tip. Use pre-made templates, postcards, flyers, newsletters. Personalize it with your branding. So once you have those templates, you can easily swap them out. Most of my agents, that's what they do. They have something they created, and they can easily, change the photos, change the content within it to make it simple and smooth, so it's not reinventing the wheel every single time. And then of course we talked about starting your outreach. So is it going to be a just listed, a just sold, market updates? I know I have some that do newsletters every quarter. I have others that do newsletters every month. Everybody is different, but finding what works for you is what's going to be comfortable. And then I always feel if you're going to go door knock with a purpose, let's talk about door knocking for a minute, because I know you guys are big door knockers and callers. When they go out, when you guys do your community, are you encouraging them to wear the KW hats and stuff? Are you okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because I had both ways, right? I think it's important to represent your brand. That's just how I think it's great, because if I saw somebody and I go, oh, she's with Keller Williams, to me it's a little bit more of a warm, open the door type of thing. But I had somebody else say that they don't do that. Everybody is different. We know people with the solar that go out, so you don't want to be mistaken for solar. So I think it's important to wear the KW, who you are. I know Charlene is in your office. Have you guys met Charlene Grumlin? And when she wears her name badge, she has her name badge upside down on purpose, because she wants people to notice her. She wants somebody to say, hey, your badge is upside down, and it gives her a reason to talk to them. So everybody's got a different strategy. You know, I wear my name badge wherever I go. So if I walk into a coffee shop or where I go to lunch or whatever I'm doing, oftentimes I get asked if I'm a realtor. So then I say, oh, are you interested in buying and selling? And that's a whole other conversation. But that's why you want to represent, you know, and have those conversations. And don't be a secret agent is basically what I'm telling you. Okay. Let's see. Page 3. Right, neighborhood events. This is happening a lot right now, especially with the holiday season coming. I've got agents that are doing pumpkin drives, pie drives. This is when they do their pop buys. Have you guys heard about pop buys? Little gifts to their clients that they've had, past clients and things like that. So all of them are kind of gearing up, because it's kind of now the season of giving, right? We go into November and December and the holidays. So you're gonna see a lot of that going on. Those are always great. Anything that you can do, and I know they're so good about it here, especially in the summer when we did the big family picnic. There was all the agents in here invited their clients, their family, and it just was kid friendly. And they had the jumper here, and it was really, really cool. So anything that you could do, you know, give back or get your name out there, you know, and you can rely or reach out to your local like firehouse and do a fire safety program for the kid. There's so many things that you can do. It's just a matter of putting it down and deciding what kind of events do I want to do to get people to know me, like me, and trust me. Okay. And then I kind of put this step 5 in here. It's advanced tactics. It might be a little bit more advanced, but down the line, this is, you know, you can start taking out targeted ads and things like that on Instagram, social media, and all that good stuff when you're ready for that. I'm not saying do that now. And then I feel like I don't need to get too into the track and adjust, but you should track everything that you're doing. If you're making 100 phone calls on call night, you should find out how many calls did I convert into an appointment and what have you. All that, keep track of it. All of my agents, whether they're spending money on their mailers, on their magazines, whatever they are doing, they track it because they want to know what exactly is working that I'm doing. How much time am I spending on it? How much money am I spending on it? And then measure those results over time so that you know what, I'm doing this farm and I'm sending this out and I haven't really seen anything. I've been doing it 6 months to a year. Maybe I'm gonna take away from this and I'm gonna keep it over here and do the social media ads because I'm getting more response from it, okay? So those are all kinds of things that you wanna make sure that you keep track of all that. And you wanna know what you need to adjust for your budget down the line, you know? If you start spending money, you wanna track that because you don't wanna keep dumping money into something that's not giving you a reward in the end, okay? You wanna see that ROI, your return on investment, okay? Oftentimes I hear, yeah, I just spent, and you probably have heard it over the years too, I just bought this program. And then they spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, whether it's a month or a year. Oh, I just paid, $2,000 for this lead gen system, and they're not getting anything out of it. So be really wise of what you spend your money on and what you do with your time, and ask around before you just purchase anything. I really think that's important. Okay. Essential tools and resources. I'm assuming we're all on command in here, or learning command. I think that's awesome. It's great that Keller Williams offers that for you guys. I know that Amber is here and Ulysses as well. Whenever I generate any type of farm for you guys here at KW, I put it in command format for you, so you can easily upload that into your CRM. So anything that you do, you want to be able to upload it into the CRM, right? Whether it's with emails and phone numbers and their addresses and names, and that way you can track it, right? You can also run the Facebook ads and Instagram ads, correct, through your KW command, which being told is great because you're able to track it on the back end as well. I'm not on your CRM, but I hear all about it, and I know a lot of the agents that use it like it. And then obviously you can stay consistent with that. Okay, so when I look at that, the other thing is just saying, if you don't have a CRM that you're using, if you're not using KW Command, you should be using something, okay? So if you don't, you have to have at least an Outlook or something to keep track of who the people are that you are dealing with, okay? Because sometimes I get, oh, I'm not using it yet, but I just highly encourage, do Command if you don't have anything at all, okay? Okay, so in wrapping up, we defined our farm area. We want to make sure we have a calendar and make sure we have a plan that goes along with it. And we want to make sure we have the materials that go along what we're going to be doing. There's all kinds of marketing plans. If you don't have one, I'd be more than happy to email you a marketing plan calendar if that helps you keep that straight for you. I have no problem sending that over for you so you can keep track of what you're doing. And then as time goes on, you can start doing some collaborations. You know, I thought that was really interesting, collaborations, and I think of that. I have a agent right now that's really good about teaming up with local businesses in the area and showcasing that as a monthly feature within our social media, and agents do it in here as well. Just watch what other people are doing that you want to, you know, so you can see what they're doing. So if you have some top producers in here, like Hector and Aurora are great on their social media, follow them, and then follow some other agents in different areas that you might be seeing and say, you know what, those are the things that I want to be doing and how can I be incorporating that. And once you start, we call it rip off and duplicate. It's just easier to take something from someone and make it your own, and you know exactly kind of how you want to carry that on. And I would just say stay consistent with it. We always say 6 months to a year in geographic farming. It's going to take that long. If you get something before that, that's amazing, right? It is going to take that long. Sometimes it happens overnight and sometimes it doesn't, okay? So the last page, I put some tools and products. I put on there the 3 essential mobile apps. When I get that email that comes over from Amber that introduces the new agent here, I immediately reply to it and introduce myself as well. I ask you guys to give me your phone number back so that we can set up a time to meet and go over your farm or meet in person, whatever is easiest. I always feel that it's one thing to give you the data, but it's another thing to really show you how that works and what you need to be doing with that data, right? So we have a farming program. It's called Dynamic Farm. It keeps track of your farm. It keeps track of the turnover rate, how many people are in the owner-occupied, non-owner-occupied, how many people are just most likely to sell next, right? Our hot movers, we talked about that before. But it also, it does the niche farming and then it gives you your complete farm, and then it updates every month. So most of my agents in here have a farm or 2 or 3 in there that they can keep track with. If you guys want to go hands-on with that, I'm more than happy to help you with that. Just feel like each one of you probably would be individual as far as how you want to pick your farm and what you want to do. But you definitely want to have a way to track it and have the data easily to export for what you need. And with Dynamic Farm, the app that goes with it is our Dynamic Farm app. So when you're out in the field, you have that downloaded on your phone. You can easily get the property information, who owns it, you know, how many bedrooms or bathroom, when they sold it last, all that good stuff is on there right there at your fingertips. It's really to keep you guys as a smart agent. That's what's important. It's all about being time effective and not wasting your time when you're out there. If you're not comfortable with using any of the apps and you don't want that, that's fine too. I have a way to generate walking farms in walking farm format. Hard copy, if you feel comfortable going out and having it in a book, I'll be more than happy to put that together for you. My customer service also will be more than happy to run labels for any type of thing that you want. So if you have a mailing piece or marketing piece that you're going out, or you're doing maybe some letters and you want the labels for that for the homeowner, we're able to get that as well for you, and we can print those and send them over to your office. You have the ability. We're not giving you guys any excuses to not be able to go out there and get that business, right? Go out and pound the pavement. I put a few other programs on here that we offer. Our Title Pro 247, that's a super important program. You can pull farms from there as well, but I'm your source for farms. I just want you guys to know, I want to make it easy on you, so I want to help you with that. I'm going to go do with Dynamic Farm. If you're on our Title Pro 247, it's because you want access to property profile or information for a client. Maybe you're getting ready to go show property, you want to know what the taxes are on the property. That's why you would use Title Pro 247, okay? So pulling property profiles and things like that. There's an app that goes with Title Pro. There's an app for everything, to be honest with you. So I put a little bit of information on there. I don't want to overwhelm you with all that because you guys are brand new, okay? There's a lot that's coming at you. So don't ever feel like you can't ask me a question. No question's a stupid question. You have to learn. We're here to help you. We're your partners. We're here to help you guys succeed. So you have to just be comfortable and feel like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what, and if it's something I'm like, oh, you know, that's not me. I'll lead you in the right direction and make sure you get what you need from the right person. Okay. I put the top 5 marketing inspirational tools for you guys on here. I know. Didn't you just have a Canva? You did. Yeah, so you got your Canva that's now tied in with KW, which is great. So I put that on there. Obviously with Instagram and TikTok, that's what we're seeing a lot. I put Breakthrough Broker on here. That is another program. They do 3 free items a month, but and they do have an upgraded version that you can pay for. I'm not suggesting you pay for anything, but definitely it's something to take a look at to get ideas. All I'm doing is suggesting where you can go get some ideas if you're stumped on what content, or where do I get a market update, or where do I get the market is hot letter, what have you. These are all sources for you to be able to see what other people are using and doing. Okay. Keeping Current Matters. Do you guys ever go on that or maybe look at that? That's really good. Keeping Current Matters is really good with market insights and things like that. David Childers is the owner and creator of that program, and he's really good about providing informational content. So if you guys want to get a little analytical on some of your stuff or your content that you're putting on social media, that's a great site to look at, kind of stay on industry trends, okay? And then obviously follow people like your Gary Keller, Tom Ferry, your lab coat agents, or any top producers. I highly recommend you follow them. And one of the things I didn't put on here that I do every Monday, and I know Ulysses is familiar with it, is the Altos reports. Those go out every Monday. They just went out this morning at 7 o'clock. I'll make sure you guys are signed up on it. And that is for any area, but I have you guys on for Lake Elsinore, but you can switch it to any area that you want, or multiple areas, and it gives you current market analysis and trends of what's going on. So average price in the community, how many days on market, that type of stuff. So when you're seeing some of the content that some of the realtors are talking about when they're doing their market updates on social media, they're pulling it from Altos reports, the MLS, Keeping Current Matters. They're kind of getting all their data that way, okay? But it's nice, it comes every Monday and it kind of keeps you abreast with what's going on in your community. So if you are living in Menifee or Murrieta, and that's where you're farming, then I would say I would like Murrieta, and I'll make sure that I mark it on there for you. Some of you in here have multiple that I have you tagged for, that every city comes up, but you can just switch it very easily. So I went over a lot.
We got into forestry, so like
Yeah.
for example, the call nights on Thursdays. The list that I get from you, can those be uploaded to KW Command? Like, because we get the Excel spreadsheet,
Yes.
but can we get it also in the format that can be uploaded?
Yes.
So a lot of them are like, hey, I want to follow up through Command, I want to send them a flyer, I want to send them something.
Yep. All of those files that we have, I have a separate folder for you.
Beautiful.
So I moved all those over. Right now, the program that we're using, they got hacked. And yeah, they got hacked. And so, which is common in our industry. I don't know if you know, I mean, all of our title companies got hacked about 2 years ago. That was a little insane. Right before Thanksgiving, the hackers it was insane. So that's a whole other story. But that's why we have such strict security, hence I can't get my emails right now on my phone. But I say that because I did, on the way here, I was on the phone with them because I have so many requests that come in, and that's one of the systems that I like to use. And the reason I use this system is because when you guys are looking for the emails and phones, it scrubs it for the do not call registry, which is very important, okay? So it's a great thing that you mentioned, because if you are pulling 1,000 homes, or out of the 1,000, once you scrub it for the do not call, you might get 350 phone numbers. You might get 500 emails. There's about a 35 to 45% ratio on return on that. So that's what we do. We scrub it. We want to make sure that if you're making any of those calls, that you're not going to be getting into trouble. We don't want anybody, because there's strict guidelines on that, and he can explain all that to you. But yes, anything can be formatted, and that's why Dynamic Farm is one of the programs I do like using. When maybe the next class I could just go live and demo into Dynamic Farm, okay?
Maybe, we'll check.
We'll check it out, yeah, and then we can do that. And I think what's important is the way that you can export. There's about 20 different CRMs to export, and KW Command is one of them. So it is nice because you could be doing that if you feel comfortable, and if not, we can do it for you. So yeah, my customer service has the KW Command template.
Really?
We can run anything on the KW Command template.
So example, I'm brand new,
Correct.
and I just got my farm, Myrtle Valley. I get the list for me to call on Thursdays, but I also want to upload it on command. If I don't know how to upload it, can your team help me? Or how
So
would that
they
work?
already format it for that, and then Amber has been the one that's been helping.
Okay.
I have never sat down and done that, but that might be a really great idea to
So
get
what
with
to learn
Amber
from it.
and
Okay.
do a tutorial and maybe screen record it. That might be something that we should be doing, and that way you guys can have it in your arsenal for when they
On
onboard.
board, absolutely.
I think that's super important. You just touched on that. That should be something we do. But yes, I have never sat down and uploaded it for them, but you have the capability to upload for KW Command. Basically any CRM I can do that for, so it's not a problem whatsoever.
So for new agents or brand new agents, what would be the first thing that they need to do with you? Like, connect with you, give you like an address, or what would they need from you?
I would love, as a brand new agent, if you have an area that you like a lot,
Can you give me some fun?
or more than one area that you like a lot, that you at least give me the address within it or the farm boundaries. So it's from Main Street to 6th Street to if I have the boundaries, or that's oftentimes I get the community name, you might say, oh, I want Menifee Lakes. Just let me know where you want to be, and then I can kind of hone in on that. I would prefer to have that up front so I can do the legwork a little bit and say, hey, you know what, this is a great farm, or ooh, we need to go somewhere else, because I don't want you to keep spinning your wheels, but I want to get you honed in on it. So once we pick the area, we could sit down, I could show you how it looks in your dynamic farm. I could have the KW Command already formatted for you. The numbers have been scrubbed, the emails are there, and then you can go off and running and have all the command work the drip campaign for them, and that would be the best way to do it.
Now, we started calling, we've been calling every Thursday for the last 8 weeks, and we were calling renters in a specific area, and renters were like, hey, somebody called me yesterday.
Oh
And
no.
I'm thinking, no, that could be, because I just got the list from recently,
Yeah.
these are like brand new.
Yeah.
Like, how do the agents overcome that?
So, that would be scripting. You know what? That's hard to say because obviously I'm not the only one that has the program.
Right.
So there are agents that subscribe to the program that we have. It's no secret. It's called Cold Realty Resources. So when you get something like that, some agents, I know like Hector and Aurora, they use Mojo, right? And they're getting their numbers and all that, but they're not the only ones that use that either. So I would just say to overcome, just sorry that you got the phone call, and just doing my job. I want to make sure that we're trying to find a home for everyone in the community. Something to that extent, and then
Because we were literally just saying something similar, hey, we're calling all the renters in your area to find out if you consider buying a home.
home ownership.
That's it.
Yeah. Want to save some money on your taxes? I mean,
Absolutely.
I would much prefer to be getting the write-off than having my landlord get the write-off. And that's kind of how I look at it. But everybody's a little bit different, but I think you just overcoming, maybe for you guys too, with like your scripts and role playing and when you're talking about it. I don't know, it is hard right now. I know